Hey folks, Eric Prey, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Thursday, June 20th. Sorry we're a couple days late on this. The last couple days have been kind of crazy. And just have not had a chance to shoot this prior to now. So apologize for being a couple days late. But have been fishing every day last week. Fishing's pretty good. Fishing's actually pretty good. Today was kind of tough. Don't know if it's a bluebird sky issue or what it was, but we kind of struggled down here at the dam today, so didn't do as well today as we have been doing. But as far as our lake level is concerned, we're at 917.23 as of this morning. A little bit high, a quarter of a foot high, not a lot high compared to everybody else in Missouri, but a little bit higher than normal. Water's got a little bit more color. It's kind of got a chalky sort of stain to it. We had a lot of runoff come from these storms that we've had over the last few days. Seems like yesterday morning we had a pretty good storm. The night before that we had a pretty good storm. So water has come up a little bit and it is a little bit stained. And it has cooled down a little bit as well. Down here at the dam, when you're looking at 77, 78, at least that's what it was today. I'm sure it'll warm up by the end of the day. You get up, up the James where there's actually a little bit of muddy water, and you'll see water temperatures in the 80s. You get up the Kings, same deal there. Get up the White, you're going to be in the upper 70s. So all in all, you're upper 70s to low to mid 80s all over the lake. As far as the fishing's concerned, like I said, it's been really good. Had kind of a tough day today. Not sure why it was so much tougher today than it has been, but we did catch a few. But if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, basically the same bites we've been talking about are working. You definitely want to have your topwater tied on. Yes, Jim, your topwater. You want to have your topwater tied on first thing in the morning. Some days are much better than others. Earlier in the week when it was foggy and kind of cloudy first thing in the morning, we had a really good topwater day. The bite lasted for almost 2.5 hours. Today, not so much. I think we actually landed 1 or 2 fish on topwater, but did have several other blow-ups that just really weren't eating it very well. Catching them on a spook, catching them on a Sammy, a Papa, Whopper Plopper, Berkeley Surge, all those are working, so make sure you have a topwater tied on when you're down here. Once that topwater bite starts to fade, drop shot bite's been pretty strong as well, out on these gravel points, gravel runouts, and in some of the treetops. It seems like most of the fish are around that 26 to about 32 foot range, whether they're out on the points or on the gravel or in the treetops. Doing well with a shad shape, doing well with a cut tail, doing well with the Chomper's drop shot worm and the UV drop shot worm. So all those are working in the trees and out there on those flats, so keep that in mind. Another bite that's kind of turned on with this water getting a little bit dingier down here by the dam is the football jig bite. Throwing the Jewel football jig, doing well actually with the bigger one, the 5/8 of an ounce, but not really fishing it that deep. Fishing on those mixed rock and gravel points, anywhere from about 12 to about 18 foot deep. And you're not going to catch a ton of fish doing it, but we have been catching a few better fish throwing that bigger football jig with a full-size skirt and either a speed craw or a J-tail as a trailer, and just working it through those rocks on those mixed rock and gravel points. Like I said, not a lot of fish, not a lot of bites, but we have been catching some better quality doing that, so keep that in mind as well. Go up into the mid-lake area, same sort of deal. You definitely want to have your topwater tied on. Definitely want to have a spook, Sammy, Popar, Whopper, Plopper, Surge Shad, whatever you like to throw as your topwater. Have that tied on. Little bit better topwater bite there. Seems like those fish are more relating to the gravel flats than they are down here. Down here, the topwater bite's a little bit strange. Most of them are relating to trees and most of them are Kentuckys. In the mid-lake area, it seems like most of them are largemouth or smallmouth, and they're relating to those flat gravel points, especially if there's a little bit of rock mixed into those gravel points. Catching quite a few first thing in the morning on that, and again, some days it's great, some days it's not so much. Definitely have a jig bite down there as well. The water, if the water's dirty down here, it's going to be dirty in the mid-lake, and catching them on a football jig, the Jewel 5/8 ounce football jig, matched up with a speed craw, matched up with a J-tail, on those mixed rock and gravel points. Not quite as deep as you expect them to be, though. I mean, they're 10, 12 foot out to about 18, 20 foot deep. They're not out there real deep. Most of them are blacks too. Most of them are good largemouth. And again, you're not going to catch a bunch, but the ones you catch seem to be much better quality doing that. Drop shot bite's pretty strong down there as well, both out on the gravel runouts and in the treetops. Same sort of deal. Most of them are in that 25 to about 32, 35 foot range, whether they're out on those flats or in the treetops. Basically using the shad-shaped worm, using the cut tail, using the Chomper's drop shot worm, and using the UV drop shot worm. All those baits are working. Find the fish on your sonar. Seems like I'm actually doing better if there's not a lot of shad around, especially down here, but in the mid-lake too. If there's a lot of shad around, I'm struggling to get bit. But if there's just, some smaller schools of shad, I'm catching a lot more fish on a drop shot rig right now. And go up into the James, and you can do some power fishing up in the James, and there is some fairly dirty water up in the James too. With all this rain we've had, you've got a lot more debris and a lot more mud, for lack of a better term, in the James right now, so you can catch a lot of fish up the James. Jig bite's really strong. Jewel Pro Spider jig's been really good. Flipping around laydowns, flipping around boat docks. The boat dock bite's really gotten strong, especially around Ants Creek and then on up into like Woolly Creek. Both those creeks have been holding some pretty good fish on boat docks. The football jig bite's been pretty strong as well. The 5/8 ounce Jewel football jig. You can fish it a little bit shallower there and do a little bit better. But the key is, remember to fish those rock and gravel mix points. You don't want all rock, you don't want all gravel. You want kind of a mix, and target those fish in about 8 to about 15 foot up there with the football jig. And again, most of those have been either better blacks or better smallmouth. Not catching a lot of Kentuckys doing that. Topwater bite's been strong up there too. A spook, your salmon, your popper, surge shad, whopper plopper, whatever you want to throw. Have that tied on first thing in the morning and late in the evening, because there have been a lot of fish coming up busting shad. And then a deep crankbait bite. We talk about it every year. The deep crankbait bite usually kicks in about this time of year. 6XD, DD22, whatever your favorite deep diving crankbait is. Hit those ledges. And if you guys are deep crankers, it's a timing issue. Some days you hit it right, some days you don't. But there are fish moving up on those ledges and feeding on a deep crankbait. So if you like to crank, now's the time to get up the river and start cranking, because a lot of quality fish coming from about point 12 on up the James, more around the Cape Fear area than anywhere else, but a lot of good fish coming on a deep crankbait up the James right now. White River's been fun. It continues to be the best arm of the lake. It doesn't have near the pressure that the rest of the lake is getting. The dam area's got a lot of pressure right now. There's a ton of boats out fishing this morning, a lot of vacationers. The White River's definitely been the better area of the lake to fish. Great topwater bite, spook, sammy, whopper plopper, popper, surge shad, redfin, whatever you want to throw. As far as the topwater, have it tied on and throw it first thing in the morning. From the first little glint of sunlight up till about an hour after the sun's up, you can catch them on a topwater up that way. Good drop shot bite up there as well. Shad shaped worm, cut tail worm, UV drop shot worm, Chomper's drop shot worm. Again, in those treetops, around 30 to 35, or out on those long gravel points, anywhere from about 26 to about 32 really seems to be the key depth. And you just gonna have to work for them. I mean, they're not really grouped up. Our thermocline isn't really set solid yet, but they are starting to group up out on those points. If you're catching one or two and then you don't see any for a while, stick around, keep moving around. You got to keep moving. You can't just sit over one spot and spot lock for 20, 30 minutes. You got to catch a couple and just kind of stick and move and pick those fish off out there in that 26 to 32 foot range. Jig bite's been strong up there too. The white doesn't have quite as much color as we have here. You get up around Shell Knob where the Kings is feeding in, and you'll have a little bit more color. Or if you get around some of the bigger creeks above Shell Knob, you'll have a little bit more color, but not quite the color we have here or in Kimberling. But we are still catching them on a football jig. They are a little bit deeper though. They're going to be 15 to 25 foot deep on that 5/8 ounce football jig. Again, matched up with a J-tail, matched up with a speed crawl, whatever you like to put on your football jig. Typical colors, Okeechobee blue, green pumpkin candy, watermelon candy. Those colors are working really well. And just work it slow on those gravel mixed with rock points really seems to be the key. You want to be on gravel and rock mix. You don't want to be on straight gravel or just straight rock. Guys, it is almost the end of June. 3/4 of the way or 2/3 of the way through June. It's summertime. I don't haven't really been paying attention how many boats have run across the lake behind me, but down here by at the dam area, come around 9 o'clock, you got plenty of boat traffic. But fishing's still good. We're still catching quite a few fish. It's better up in the White, a little bit better in the mid lake than it is down here. These fish are getting a little beat up, but we still catch them down here. The guys, if you're coming down, maybe you got a vacation plan, maybe you want to sneak out and fish for 4 hours in the morning, great idea. Give me a call, we can go out and do that. Maybe you want to learn how to drop shot. I've had a lot of calls from guys wanting to learn how to drop shot, and now's the time to come, because I can show you how to catch them on flats, I can show you how to catch them out of trees, I can show you how to catch them off bridge pilings, off of dock cables, out of dock stalls. However you want to learn how to fish a drop shot, I can show you all that now for probably the next 2 to 3 months. So if you're thinking about coming down, thinking about hiring a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email, book online. Either way, I'll get back to you as soon as I can on that. We'll figure out your dates and your times, get matched up, get out there, catch some fish, and have a good time. Guys, thanks for watching. Take a minute to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Trying to hit that 5,000 subscriber mark, but thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.